This morning, I was talking to my business partner, Mikey Stiller, and I start planning my new year, once it's the 1st of December. Anyhow, I was talking to her, and I told her, I want you to fast forward and think about how you would think and ask yourself questions from yourself 5 years from now. So I said, I want you to fast forward 2029 version of you. And if you ask the question from the 2029 version of you, and I gave her examples, like let's ask a question of when you created your biggest quantum leap in 2024, what were the things that you did to achieve that? And I said, that's where I want us thinking from. And we're bringing the future into the present by asking the right questions. Because for anybody to create a massive jump, you have to work with bigger ideas. You have to work with new versions of yourself. And I could look back right now as we're recording this. It's December, early December, I don't know, the 2nd, 3rd of December, 2023. And I could look back 5 years from now and I can ask myself, God, what did you do so differently from 2018 to 2023? And I mean, so much I've done differently. But, you can always look back and look how you got somewhere. What I want to do now is I don't have to wait through the experiences. I could start thinking from that person right now by asking myself the right questions. That takes us to release ideas. Like, what ideas of myself do I have to release to operate from the 2029 version of myself? I mean, that's 5 years of awareness that we can expedite by going into that person. So ask yourself, what ideas do you need to release? What ideas do you need to let go of? And I can tell you some of them to give you some examples. You want to play the long game, not the short game. You want to practice getting so good at your craft and practice building your skill set and put in those 10,000 hours of repetition. Constantly focus on serving. My version of me would say you're constantly adding more value to the marketplace. You're constantly serving at a higher level. It could be you're operating your discipline so detached. You're so divorced from the outcome. You're so detached from it. And you're acting on ideas much quicker than you ever acted on them. You're creating great partnerships. I'm giving you examples. I'm giving you some examples of what it will take, but it will take patience, and it will take, mastering, being committed to the journey. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, commit to the journey. Committing to the journey can be a mental grind if you allow it to be, because it's not always easy when you're not seeing the results right away. That's why we want to play the long game. And you want to look at it as, if we're committed to the journey, it can get hard because you're elevating your standards, and that takes a great deal of grit and toughness when you're not seeing the results. Now, the results are happening even if you don't see them, because the last part of us that's going to experience the results are our 5 senses, and that's the challenge. So you want to really look at it and commit to taking your standards seriously, committing to them, but ask yourself, what do I need to let go of? What attachments right now am I holding on to? What fear am I allowing to control me? And remember, fear is an interesting thing, because fear is an effect. It's not the cause. The cause is doubt. And doubt comes from old conditioning. Now, if we don't catch the doubt quick enough, it can put us stuck in quicksand and freeze us like we can't move. But as you become more aware, you're going to say, hold on a second, that doubt, that's the old me. That's a version I'm letting go of. But that 2029 version of me, they never doubt. Creating great confidence means letting go of the doubt. Even when you doubt yourself, you catch it right away. Any confident person will tell you that. They're more focused on continuing to leverage the outside results as a report card, an accountability of where they can get better. See, the insanity is measuring everything against the outside. That is absolute insanity. We want to measure it towards our income, towards our effort. We want to measure it towards what we can control. We want to measure it towards our definiteness of attacking our day, our hour, really running our 30, 60, 90-minute sprints, but with a greater expectation of ourselves, and coming at the end of the day and asking ourselves, did I empty my tank? Or did I keep some in reserve? Now, our brain is conditioned for us to do things in the easiest possible way. Well, we want to do that with awareness, not by settling in our day. We want to have great expectation. We want to have excellence in our hours. And the key in creating a great life, which you deserve, I believe we're here to create the life we truly design and that we want to live. But the key to doing that is by mastering our day and winning the days. The more days you win, you're going to know by the end of the year what you've created by how purposeful you've been in your days, how you're continually getting 1% better in your skill set, in your activities, in your discipline, and constantly operating out of your comfort zone. I will tell you, for anybody watching this, if you don't get out of your comfort zone, you're going to repeat what you did the year before. A lot of people procrastinate, and procrastination, I always ask my elite clients, well, why do you think you're procrastinating? They say, oh, well, I got busy or fear. Well, they're right, but people procrastinate because they're afraid to get out of their comfort zone. Because in their comfort zone, they know what to expect. Out of their comfort zone, they don't know what to expect. And out of your comfort zone is the only thing, the only obstacle keeping you from where you are to where you want to go. Start thinking like the person you want to be 5 years ago, 5 years from now, and you can compare it to 5 years ago and say, what did I learn over the last 5 years? What would I have done differently if I'd known this earlier? Well, start asking yourself the right questions. Release any type of bondage that you're holding on to with attachments, with fears, and build your identity. You know, one of the best lessons I ever learned early on in my journey was the income will always take care of itself. The wealth will always take care of itself when you do the right amount of learning. Like, constantly be open-minded and be learning. Stop worrying about how it's going to happen and start focusing on what you want more than anything else. And ask yourself the right questions. That's going to create a massive quantum leap. Start defining what are the programs that I want automatized as my greatest program going into 2024. And you can start creating them right now. But if you don't have a big why, you're going to give in. You've got to have a big why. You've got to constantly be thinking of bigger ideas. Like every day, I walk my dogs. And I take them, 3 to 5 mile walk, usually every day. And when I'm walking them, that's my meditation hour. Like, I'm constantly thinking of different ideas, and they naturally start coming in. Like, I've created so many new ideas this year walking my dogs. And I feel like we're coming through to the ideas together. But, you know, spend that time away, because in quietness and stillness is where you get the greatest ideas. You're not coming from ego, you're coming from openness. And when you're quiet, that's when all the things that are dominating your mind are going to come in. Now, those could be worry, doubt, and fear if that's the dominating ideas of your mind. But really ask yourself, if I was asking 5 years from now, my future self, how would I behave? And if I ask questions, for example, like I asked Mikey, I said, again, if I were to ask you the question, it's 2029 version of you, you've created a massive life for yourself, massive contribution. What did you do to create that? And then you're going to start getting the ideas. Start thinking from that end. Bring the future into the present. And remind yourself, to create a great future, you've got to be great in the present. And I can't tell you how important your rituals, your processes are that are going to create so much success in all areas of your life. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Really guard your mind. Guard your mind from, any energy vampires. Be so obsessed with being in control of your energy, your focus, your effort, your habits. Those are where you want to be a control freak, but really be neutral and let go. And that's where you're going to create the best version of yourself and really going to make 2024 and beyond the best year of your life in years, because you're going to continue doing this every year.